Hello and welcome to our Stay Healthy at Home webinar series. You are here with us and we are celebrating Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month with action alerts and advocacy campaigns. Today is March 1st. My name is Erin Smithers. I am the Assistant Director of the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project. We are a division-funded program with the ARC of New Jersey, and we have been since 1983. We support the state's largest network of individual self-advocates and self-advocacy groups. We also provide comprehensive training and resources to self-advocates, family members, direct support professionals, and agency personnel. So today we are going to discuss a few things. We're going to explore different ways to amplify the voice of self-advocates and direct support professionals through participation in online advocacy campaigns and the legislative or lawmaking process. This webinar features 2 pre-recorded tutorial videos to show you exactly what it looks like to participate in an active action alert and to explore the New Jersey Legislature's website to find your elected representatives. So let's take a moment to address an important question. What is self-advocacy? Well, it takes on many forms, but it involves speaking up in some manner. It can be done in a variety of ways, not only using your voice, which is what most people think of. Today, we will discuss several ways that we can advocate virtually and how our advocacy efforts can be directed at different people or to benefit different groups of people. Most of the folks on this webinar today are probably familiar with the self-advocacy movement, which is a worldwide civil rights movement aimed at improving quality of life, social inclusion, integration, and equitable treatment for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. There's also very strong vocal and successful advocacy campaigns aimed at ensuring equality for members of the LGBTQIA+ community. And Black Lives Matter is another powerful agency movement that has received coverage on mainstream news outlets as well as social media platforms. Something I will repeat throughout this webinar is that there is power in numbers, and advocacy campaigns rely on many people participating in their campaign around the same time. There are many organizations doing amazing work. Figure out which one speaks to you. Advocacy work is being done online as well as in the streets. So there are many ways to figure out the type of advocacy that resonates with your personal beliefs and priorities. So again, you can seek out some organizations that align with your interests and your personal beliefs. Sign up for their email list, follow them on social media, try to get involved and reach out if they need any volunteer work or see what they do need. You want to do your research. You want to stay up to date, read the information that they give out and respond as appropriate. As an advocate, it is your responsibility to do your research before supporting a cause or campaign you find online. Know the facts before spreading information and possibly spreading misinformation. So you want to use social media to your advantage and to elevate the work that you and other advocates are doing. Excuse me. Now we will jump into our first video. If you're not familiar with action alerts, they are messages sent out on behalf of an agency, organization, or group to gather response from members of their advocacy networks. Action alerts are focused on one particular advocacy issue per message. As the name suggests, the alert is meant to inspire action. It should specifically ask the reader or the advocate to take a specified action and respond as appropriate. The action in action alert varies. Sometimes it's signing off on a petition in support or opposition to a certain issue. Sometimes it means sharing information on your own social media accounts like your Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And sometimes it means writing to the elected representatives or decision makers in your area, again, in support or in opposition to a specific issue. So let's get started.
Action alerts are really critical ways that advocacy organizations and groups engage with their network. So this is an example of an actual action alert that was sent out last summer by the ARC of New Jersey. The important thing about action alerts is that they are very, very urgent. This is time sensitive, meaning we need to get as many people as possible to respond and act as quickly as we can. So even before you open the email, you know that it's about protecting Medicaid. This particular action alert was a response to some threats to Medicaid that were happening elsewhere in the country. And again, very clearly the message is to protect Medicaid. There's a brief description of why Medicaid is so critical to people with disabilities and their families. And then if we scroll down just a bit, we will see what the ask is. We are asking our network to take action. So this was actually a clickable link that members could use to share their Medicaid stories with members of Congress and federal representatives. So we described how to appropriately respond to this action alert, which was to let your government representatives know why Medicaid is essential. How does it help you manage your health conditions and live independently? How does it relate to your transportation or other services? So again, it's pretty brief, it's to the point, and the goal is to take action. So this is a screenshot of another action alert that was happening last year and even into this year. It was part of the #WeAreEssential campaign. So this was a campaign developed by disability advocates throughout the country to let federal representatives know that people with disabilities needed to be considered when making decisions about the next coronavirus relief bill or stimulus package. So again, the important thing here is to make it personal. Because we don't all know our federal representatives or legislators, it's important that we take the opportunity to share our story with them so that they keep us in mind when they're making important decisions. So again, this was a clickable link. You can click right here, and then members of the network were asked to share a personalized message with their members of Congress. And the action alert was set up so that it was just 3 quick questions about you or your family and a submit link, and it went straight to our representatives. I'm really happy to share that that particular action alert, the #WeAreEssential campaign, was really successful. This is a press release from the ARC of the United States from just a few weeks ago, March 10th, after the COVID-19 emergency relief legislation was passed by Congress. So this is a win. This is a really big win for self-advocates and family members and members of the disability advocacy community. And I just want to highlight that it was because of advocacy and because of our response to action alerts that this happened. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more, I added a link here to the ARC of the United States Policy Advocacy homepage that has this particular press release and more information about the campaign. So I'd like to take some time to review how to actually respond to an action alert. We see here that it was successful, but how exactly did it happen? So again, partially because advocates engaged with members of their legislature and federal representatives. This email was sent out last summer from the ARC of the United States, and it was to let people know about the hashtag We Are Essential campaign, and their ask was to have Congress members learn about the disability community and to keep members in mind when making decisions about the relief bill. This was a clickable link. People were asked to take action. So we're going to see exactly what that looks like. If you get an action alert like this in your inbox, this is how it goes. This is how it kind of works through to the final step of submitting your comments and taking that action. Example of a recent action alert that was sent out by the ARC of the United States. I think it's pretty cool that they personalized their email header and really summed up the ask of this action alert in the email header. Even before I open the message, I am aware that they are asking me to reach out to senators to pass the COVID-19 relief bill. So this is the body of the message, and we see here that it's appropriately branded. We know where it's coming from. And again, the ask is repeated right before a live link to take action. And you can read the whole message. It outlines how the bill is proceeding through the federal legislative process. Right now, it is up to the Senate to review and ultimately approve or reject the bill. So they outline the information that we're asking for. We want senators to include people with disabilities, their caregivers, and direct support professionals in this bill. So that would mean funding for Medicaid home and community-based services, personal protective gear for direct support professionals, as well as paid leave for caregivers, and ensuring that people with disabilities are able to receive any economic impact payments that may be included in the next bill. So if we go back up and check out that live link, let's see what it looks like to take action on this particular advocacy initiative. So we see here, the information has actually been auto-filled. So talk about easy. This is super convenient. All of my information that I shared with the ARC US when I signed up to receive their action alerts is auto-filled here. Again, the information in the email is copied here, so very well outlined. It's clear what we are being asked to do. And because I shared my contact information with them, the ARC US actually populated the legislators, the federal representatives who cover the North Brunswick area. So our state senators are Cory Booker and Senator Robert Menendez. So Senators Booker and Menendez are representing New Jersey in Washington, D.C. So, and I think it's cool. You get to see who these folks are. You can get a visual on that. You can then do research on our representatives later, but it's all here. So this is actually a message that is created on your behalf. So this can be edited. You can remove things that, you know, if you want to add other information and really personalize the message, this is available to you. So you can actively write in here. You can say whatever you'd like. And just know that the recipients, Senators Booker and Menendez, will get this message. And in times like this, it's really power in numbers. We want to make sure that we're sharing this information with people that are part of our networks. So there is links to share this information with your Twitter followers and Facebook friends. So it's all here. You have an opportunity to weigh in on this piece of legislation. And you also have the option to continue to receive advocacy alerts from the ARC and affiliated chapters. And if you don't want that, you can just uncheck these boxes. That's fine. So when you hit send email, there you go. There's a nice little thank you for emailing your legislators. You can also just copy and paste this on your Twitter feed if that's something that you want to share. And it will be automatically tweeted to Senator Booker and Senator Menendez. And if we go back up here and see what it looks like to click on the phone call icon, they'll set it up so that you will get a call from this number. They'll share talking points with you. You will then be connected to Senator Booker or Senator Menendez, and then you can tell your talking points to your legislators. So this is just another way to advocate. If you don't want to send the email, if you don't want to tweet, that's okay. This is another option.
So again, I just think it's so important to remember that change happens when we take action, when we work as a community to really make sure that things get better for members of our community. I want to encourage you all to check out the current advocacy campaigns that are detailed on the ARC of the United States Advocacy Network homepage. One of the action alerts that is current is sharing your story about what your support needs are. What do you need in order to live in your community? So again, this would be a clickable link on the website. You would then be prompted to answer some questions, and ultimately the goal is to act and have your story shared with your representatives. This second item is about paid leave. So paid leave was actually an ask that was part of the hashtag We Are Essential campaign. That is still something we're working towards. So again, check out the ARC of the United States homepage, and you can then also sign up for email updates to get these action alerts to your inbox. So I hope this is helpful to you as an advocate, as a family member, or a self-advocate, or a professional working in the field. It's really important to know that action alerts are accessible. They are meant to be responded to in a really immediate way, and it's important to keep speaking up and keep advocating.
All right. So I see, Gina Marie, you have a question about putting links in the chat or emails after this. We're going to go over all of that, but if you want to sign up for the emails, that's what the video just showed, that you can go on the ARC of US's website and sign up for emails for their action alerts. And then we're going to talk about how to get involved in all of the resources for everything we use today will also be at the end of the slides. All right. So the ARC of the United States shared this action alert over the summer. Yeah, as you can see, the Take Action Now button, the big orange button at the bottom, is clearly marked. And once you click that link, you're given instructions on how to participate in their action alert. Of course, if you ever have questions or you want some additional information, you can contact a member of the ARC of New Jersey's team. These action alerts don't go out every week. It's not a regular email. So when you do see them, just know that it's time sensitive and very important for you to act as quickly as possible. All right, I'm going to try to get rid of this bar for some reason. It is in the way. Let me go back. So there is room for everyone in advocacy campaigns. If you only have a few minutes to spare, online advocacy campaigns or petitions work really well. I think a lot of organizations acknowledge the fact that many people are pressed for time, so they do their best to develop ready-made advocacy messages that can be shared across social media or via electronic correspondence with decision makers. As the video showed, it does not need to take a lot of time and can still be very impactful. Now let's move into our discussion about the legislative or lawmaking process. This video will explore how we can develop effective, individualized testimony for legislative hearings. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the the Q&A box. All right.
Welcome to the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project's How to Develop Testimony training. We are doing this for Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, which is March, and the year is 2021. So the importance of testimony has so many different layers. First of all, testimony is a formal request for support. You are asking the people who make these decisions for something specific, letting them know what you need, why you need it, and what you want. It's one of the most effective ways to advocate on legislative or policy issues. So if there's something going on in your town, in your state, in your country that you want changed or you want kept the same, testimony is one of the best ways to do that. Your voice matters. Written and or verbal testimony is a way that you can advocate for your needs and your wants in your area. When you submit testimony, it is read and considered by all of the legislators, even if you don't attend a hearing. So you submit your written testimony, and sometimes they will allow you to record a video and submit it. You have to check each separate hearing to know what they want. But when you submit it, it is then up for public record. Anyone can read it. And then all of the legislators and everyone on the committee takes the time to read and look at all of those testimonies. And this quote is something that I like, and it's important to remember that legislation is decided by those who show up. People are not mind readers. Our legislators are not mind readers. We need to let them know exactly what we want and exactly what we need. So here's an example of a testimony that was used last year, last September. This is a written testimony, obviously, and we're going to go and break it down and go through each part. So if possible, if you have one, you want to use a letterhead. It makes it look more professional. This can be something from a group you're a part of, or if you work for an agency or a program, you can use their letterhead. Otherwise, it's very easy to make one, especially using an app like Google Docs, or if you have a MacBook, something on your laptop, a program like that could work, like Keynote or PowerPoint, something like that. You can easily make up letterhead. Just makes it look more official. Kind of helps it stand out as well. So when we print these out, we usually print them in color. Again, that pop of color is going to make it stand out aside from all of the other testimony that is also being submitted. Testimony should have the date at the top. Self-explanatory. You also want to start your testimony with a polite greeting and an introduction of yourself. So in this specific testimony, the person addressed who they were, where they live, and the programs that they're involved in, any kind of position that they hold. And then they kind of segued into another paragraph explaining their living situation, because this testimony was getting direct support professionals a higher wage. So part of that introduction was talking about how they interact with direct support professionals, kind of giving an official claim to why they're voicing this opinion and how it relates to them. And then the next portion should contain what you want, what you need, and you want to be direct in what you're asking of the committee. So you will see that in this testimony, the first sentence is, I am here to advocate for direct support professionals and pleading that they get more funding from the fiscal year 2021 state budget. So that first sentence is just exactly what we want. The next few sentences explain why they deserve that. So how they're working overtime due to the pandemic, how they normally, outside of the pandemic, work very hard. All of these sentences explain why what you're asking should be delivered. And then the next paragraph, again, is more kind of facts about how much DSPs currently make, what you're asking for. So we're asking for 25% higher, which will soon be $15 an hour. So kind of like the number aspect of it, again, just very clear on what you're asking for and what you want from the committee. And then the next portion is just a simple line or two thanking the committee for their time and consideration. You can say something like, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for allowing me to present my testimony. Thank you for your consideration, something like that. And then finally, you want to end with a polite sign off. And this should include your full name, if you have any positions or titles, or if you're a member of any group and you're sending this testimony as part of that group, you can include that there as well. And then the bottom of this testimony is just also part of that letterhead. So it has contact information, address, email, phone, that kind of thing. You want to make that specific to you. So along with a written testimony, if you're going to present testimony at a hearing, right now they're done virtually or they can be done in person, you should develop talking points to go along with your testimony. Your written testimony is going to be handed over or emailed in, but the talking points are just for you. Your written testimony can be as long as you need. Verbal oral testimony, however, is limited to a few minutes, typically around 3 minutes. So you want to prepare talking points ahead of time to address the important factors of your testimony. Talking points help ensure that your concerns are coming across and also that the hearing stays on track. If you've never attended a hearing before, they are filled all day. There are many people that are trying to also get their points heard. So that's why they limit it to a very short amount of time, because they want to make sure they get enough time, they have enough time to hear everybody. So practice your talking points ahead of time as well. This way you're comfortable with what you're saying and you're well versed with your points. So this example here are talking points for the same kind of testimony. So again, this person, Evelyn, was testifying again on behalf of direct support professionals getting a higher wage. So these were the talking points. So good morning, assembly. You want to address the committee. It could be the Senate, could be assembly, whatever committee you're addressing, you would like to, welcome them. Again, thank you for hearing my testimony. And then the introduction, my name is, I am, any positions you're in, any titles you hold. And then again, get directly into what you're asking, what you need and what you want. So they said, I'm here today because we need to give direct support professionals a living wage. Short, sweet, and to the point. You want to let them know. We're not reading the whole testimony. We don't have time to read the whole testimony, especially if it's longer than 1 page. But you want to make sure you're getting all of the points across. So these points should be direct. They should just be asking for specific things. And you want to make it as simplified as possible. You don't want to kind of say things that are confusing. If you have time, you can add in some examples of why. So, Evelyn said it's hard when staff leaves because they aren't being paid enough. So she's talking about turnover rate, and then with a higher wage, empty staff positions won't be so hard to fill. So she gave some examples. And then she ended it again with a polite sign off. Please remember my testimony when making decisions about the 2019 budget. Again, thank you for this opportunity to speak before you today. So you want to develop these talking points, and it doesn't matter what they look like, because again, you're going to be the only one seeing them. You just want to have it direct. You want to practice them. Make sure you're staying within your time slot. That's very important, because again, we want to keep that hearing on track. We're not going to appreciate it when other people go over their time. So just like with that, you want to be respectful and stay within your time as well. So here is one of actually the last hearing that we were able to attend in person. This was March 10th, 2020. This was a Senate budget hearing on the New Jersey state budget, and Advocate Renee was here testifying, and we have the audio from her testimony. I want to note that this little box on the right here, this wooden box, is actually a kind of like a stoplight. It's a red light, a yellow light, and a green light. So that helps you know if you're staying within your time. I believe for the first 2 minutes, it's green, and then for a minute, it's yellow, and then it turns red at your 3-minute mark, or, it's adjusted to however long you have. So we're going to listen to Renee give her testimony.
Hi, my name is Erin Smithers, and I'm with the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
I'm here with Renee Pierce, who would like to testify.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Senators and thank you for hearing my testimony. My name is Renee Pierce. I am a self-advocate for Maplewood, New Jersey, Irvington. I am the chairwoman of Council 2 with the Self-Advocacy New Jersey's network. I am also the Sergeant of Arms of the Advisory Board in New Brunswick, New Jersey. I am here today because we need to give direct support professionals a living wage. The work that they do is not minimum wage. Work so they should not be paid minimum wage of if they are paid what is it? What they are worth the turnover rate won't be so high. Either I would be able to keep these valuable people on in my life, and maintain my way of living without any breaks or losing my independence. With a higher wage, empty staff positions won't be so hard to fill, and group homes would stay fully staffed. A high turnover rate means we are having to constantly train new staff members, and that takes time. Will we really need your help? Please remember my testimony when making decisions about the 2020-2021 budget. Again, thank you for your times. Okay, that's it.
Great job. Great job. Good job. Way to work through that. Thanks. And thank you for your testimony. And we appreciate you being patient, being with us here today. Thank you. Good job. Nicole.
So, as you heard, she got a great response from the senators, applause from the crowd. It was such a positive experience for her, and she has done a lot of these hearings. She has testified numerous times, and the experience is always positive. Renee feels that she gets her voice across, she gets it heard, she's saying it directly to the people who are making these decisions. So it's the best way for her to communicate and advocate for what she wants and what she needs. If you would like to see a hearing and be able to hear the way different people testify, this is a virtual hearing that happened back in December 15th, 2020. And Evelyn, the advocate whose testimony we read and the talking points we went over, she is in this hearing. I included the YouTube link. You can just click that or copy that, paste it into your browser, and you can watch the whole hearing. So you're able to see how different committees address different hearings. They're not all always the same. Like I've mentioned before, sometimes you get 3 minutes, sometimes you get 4 minutes, sometimes you get 2 minutes. Sometimes there's no limit. So it all depends on making sure you know the guidelines for the hearing you're attending and just being comfortable with the material that you're presenting. So now let's find out how to find opportunities to testify. So this is the New Jersey Legislature homepage, and the website is up top. The address is njleg.state.nj.us. So you can click on that. You'll get this page. This is all about New Jersey. And if you ever get lost, you're exploring the site a little and you want to come back, just click that home button right up there. So right on the front page, you will see New Jersey Now in session. These are all of the meetings that are taking place, and it's done by calendar date. So when this was recorded was Monday, March 8th. These are all the meetings that are in place. And if you scroll down, you see this little calendar. You'll see the key underneath. Yellow is legislative activity. Green is including budget hearings. So anytime a date is highlighted, there is legislative activity there. So you can go ahead and click on that date and the meetings will pop up. So you'll see for Tuesday, March 16th, there is a Senate Budget and Appropriations hearing, only a budget hearing. So they're not going to be discussing any other bills. So if we go back to the home page, you'll see for the day, let's click on one of these links here. You'll see all of the bills that are being discussed with some of their information. But if you go ahead and click on that bill number, you can find out all of the information about that bill. And if you click on PDF or HTML, you can actually see a copy of that bill. So you can find out who it's sponsored by. You can find out, the synopsis, obviously, and then you'll find out exactly what the wording of the bill is. This is the bill. So you can find out who it would affect, who it pertains to, and that's how you can form an opinion on whether you want to participate in that hearing or not. Generally, hearings you need to register for them ahead of time. So right now is budget season, so the budget hearings are going on for the New Jersey state budget. So you can click that registration link, and you'll come to this page, which has all of the information for the different hearings. You have the Senate Budget and Appropriations Committee, and then you have the Assembly Budget Committee at the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and click where it says click here, and this is where you get all of the information about this hearing. This is also how you register. So for these hearings specifically, they only want you to testify at one. So you can testify at just one assembly and then one Senate if you prefer. And if you're not sure how, you can click the instructions and it'll tell you what to do. So select the day you want to register for and then the time. Then you're going to enter in your personal information. You need a working email because that is how you are sent the confirmation as well as the link. Since these are virtual, you will get a link to attend. And then if you need any sort of hearing loss assistance, that is how you can fill that out as well on this registration form. So you are able to get CART or sign language, and those need 5 days notice. Next, if you click guidelines, it gives you the guidelines of the hearing. So a lot of important information. You'll see each bullet point contains some guideline for this hearing. So you are asked to log into the session within the hour prior to the start of the session. So depending on what time you're registering for, you want to log in before the hearing is supposed to start. They want everybody ready to go before it's supposed to start. Your testimony is limited to 3 minutes for this particular hearing. Again, it's different, so check the guidelines for the hearing that you are registering for. And then you want to submit your testimony to this email address. So if you have written testimony and talking points, you only need to submit the written testimony, and the email address might change from hearing to hearing as well. So it's important to make sure you're sending it to the right address so that they receive it. And then it tells you what the written testimony should include, but we already went over this information. So you want to have obviously your name, if you're with an organization, their name, the address, phone number, a fax number if you have it, and a correct email address. You can also snail mail it, so you can send it in the mail. Again, it gives you the email address to send it underneath, or the physical address if you would like to put it in the mail and send it that way. And then again, it's just letting you know that you are allowed to testify at only one assembly public hearing. So let's go back, and we're going to go over you have the guidelines here, then the hearing loss assistance. So if you do need assistance, it gives you information on how you can do that. So CART or sign language interpreters require 5 days notice for this hearing, or if you need an assistive listening device, that only requires 24 hours notice. But again, it requires notice ahead of time, so you want to make sure you're prepared. So now you're just going to select which date works for you, and again, which time. So morning, late afternoon, early afternoon. You're going to enter in all of your information, first name, last name, email. The ones with a red asterisk are mandatory. You have to answer those in order to go to the next step. But otherwise, they just want your general information, how they can contact you, and then here's where you can let them know if you need any assistance. You're going to hit submit. And if everything's filled out correctly, you'll go to the next page and it'll give you the next steps. Sometimes they'll want to know if you are submitting testimony. Sometimes they want to know how you, if it's for a bill, they would like to know how you feel about the bill, if you're in favor or if you're opposed. Sometimes it just gives you that confirmation email. So again, it's different with every hearing. It should all be explained on how you, what you need to do though with each hearing. And then you can also search by bills if you're looking for a specific bill, if there's a hearing coming out for that bill, if you're really interested in learning more about that bill, that is how you do it. And then also it has a lot of great information on this website as well. So here are all of the days that the Senate is meeting or has met. So you can see bills talked about, if there were sessions recorded, which typically they're either recorded with video and audio or just audio. And again, your testimony is made public. So you want to make sure that there's no information given out. So you can also learn more about the legislative process. If you want to visit the State House or if you want to hold an event at the State House, there are links there that can help you with that as well. So there's just a lot of information on this website. So I highly recommend checking it out, learning more about the bills that are going on in our state that are going to affect you. And then you can find out how you can testify at one, or at least submit testimony for any of these. So we talked about how they are recorded. So if you want to see live recordings, you click there. Or if you want to see archived proceedings from the past hearings, you can click there as well. Excellent. If you're new to writing testimony, the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project can help you develop your testimony. We can help you compile the information from the other slide into a well-written, professional looking document that will help catch the eye of the people who are reading it. We also offer trainings on this topic, as well as other legislative topics through our Governmental Affairs Ambassador Program. So we have a lot of information on how to advocate, what is advocacy, how to get more involved in your local government, how to develop testimony. We can do these trainings for your group for free. Just reach out to us and you can find our contact information on any of our sites. And then we also offer opportunities to participate in legislative activities, including opportunities to meet New Jersey state and federal legislators or representatives. So we have meetings every year, typically a lot more in March because March is Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. And we kind of do a kickoff event where we meet with state and federal legislators or representatives to let them know about developmental disabilities, to let them know who we are, and to let everybody know what we want and what we need. If you're interested in any of that, please reach out to us and we can get you involved. So like I said, March is Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, and we do have a campaign that we do every year. This year's theme is Advocacy Anytime, Anywhere. We have all been a part of this pandemic for just about a year now, but that doesn't mean that because we can't be out in large groups and we can't be out in public places unnecessarily, that we can't advocate, and we still can. So we've developed this template that you can download on our websites and enter in your information about how you have continued to remain an active self-advocate through this pandemic. So whether it's virtually, whether it's starting your own groups, whether it's just speaking up for what you want and what you need, we want to hear about it. So you can fill out this template, or you can contact us and give us your quote and we can fill it out for you. But we want to hear how you have continued to advocate during the pandemic, during 2020 and the beginning of 2021. Also, if you post anything about Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, please use the hashtags DD Awareness Month 2021 and hashtag Advocacy Anytime, Anywhere. We are constantly checking these hashtags and we want to see how you advocate. Every week, we will also be putting a prompt up on our social media talking about different scenarios and asking how you would advocate in that position. So this one is about finances, and then we have one about voting. So we want to know what you would do. We're trying to promote conversation on advocacy, hear how different people advocate in different scenarios can also help you learn how you can advocate for yourself in your scenario. And while Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month is just for March, we do celebrate it all year. So come celebrate with us and participate in everything we have going on. So more about our program, the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project. We have been a division-funded program of the ARC of New Jersey since 1983. We support the state's largest network of individual self-advocates and self-advocacy groups. We also provide comprehensive training and resources to self-advocates, family members, direct support professionals, and agency personnel. If you would like to join our email list to find out everything we have going on, you can click here. You can also sign up on our website. And then every Wednesday at 11 a.m. and Friday at 1 p.m., we offer our Healthy Lifestyles Project live sessions. So these are sessions that we have to educate students and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities about all aspects of health and wellness. They are virtual trainings, so you can participate from anywhere. And we have an array of topics going on. If you would like to register here or see what we have planned and scheduled, you can do that by clicking this link or by visiting our website. And we are still providing free trainings to groups and schools. Just reach out to us through our training page, which is this website here. You can find that also on our homepage. And you'll see what trainings we have made. If there's a topic that you're interested in that we don't already have a training made for, let us know. We are constantly making new trainings on any topic of interest for anyone around the state. And every day of the week, we are doing something online. So you can print this out. It's available on our website. You can visit us online. So we have social media videos going up 3 times a week. We have our Healthy Lifestyles Project live on Wednesdays and Fridays. We also have our Stay Healthy at Home webinars Tuesday at 2 and Thursdays at 1. We play brain games. So this is just a handy flyer to help you remember what's going on with the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project depending on the day. Everything is available on our YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So feel free to follow us, subscribe, or just check us out and see what we've got going on. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. This is our email and our phone number. And again, here are the websites, the addresses for all of our social media and our homepage, NJSelfAdvocacyProject.org. We hope to hear from you soon.
What we need to keep in mind about our advocacy work is that our individual and collective voices are important. Advocates don't shy away from speaking up when there is a problem or something that needs to change. As the video showed, the legislative process is meant to be a collaboration between lawmakers and the people who vote them into office. Lawmakers have their areas of expertise, but they can't possibly know everything we need. So we need to educate them. And one way we can do that is through communication and providing testimony at hearings. Advocacy is usually born out of a struggle, a challenge that an individual who is part of a larger group needs to address. Sometimes the inequity is obvious. Sometimes it's more of a hidden barrier. In either case, being part of a movement to gain greater equality for all human beings is at the heart of all advocacy movements. So I want to thank you for being here today. Like we've mentioned in the chat, we do have links available. This is our information. Once the PDF is available on our website, you can go ahead and click any of the links you saw in the webinar today. You can also visit our separate social media accounts to get the information. So here's our Twitter, here's our Facebook, our Instagram, and this is our website, www.njselfadvocacyproject.org. Everything that we talked about is available on our website, on our YouTube as well, which is a link for that is also in the chat. Here are the resources used for today's slide set, so you can find all of that information out as well. I'm going to leave it on this page, but again, please feel free to click any of the links in our chat box to visit any of the information that was asked of today. So again, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful day. If there are any other questions or comments, please feel free to type them in the Q&A box or in the chat box right now. Thank you so much. We're so happy that you could be here. And we're excited to celebrate DD Awareness Month this March and every March.